Love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers in the spaces between words, in the way someone listens, in the way they linger, in the way they notice. In a world full of loud declarations and public gestures, emotional closeness often reveals itself in the smallest, quietest moments, the ones many overlook, but the heart never forgets. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, it's not always about flowers or grand speeches. More often, it's found in how he looks at you when you're not watching, how he remembers that one random story you told weeks ago, or how he shows up, especially when it's inconvenient for him. These aren't accidents. These are intentions in silence. Many women wonder, how do I know if he really feels something deeper? The truth is, the loudest signs of love aren't always loud. They're steady. They're subtle. They feel safe. And they don't demand your attention. They quietly deserve it. Emotional attraction isn't about obsession or control. It's about connection. It's about how he feels around you and how he wants you to feel when you're around him. It's in how he listens, really listens, not just to your voice, but to your pauses. It's in the way he starts adjusting his life, just a little, to make space for you. It's how he checks in when you've gone quiet, how he instinctively shields your comfort without being asked, and how he holds eye contact just a moment longer, as if he's studying something he doesn't want to forget. Sometimes he won't even realize he's doing it. These small, consistent behaviors are the body's way of telling the truth before the mouth can. And if you watch closely, not with suspicion, but with stillness, you'll see how affection leaves clues. Gentle ones, beautiful ones. This isn't about playing games or decoding mixed signals. This is about learning to trust the quiet, about recognizing that emotional connection doesn't always wear a label, but it always leaves a feeling. A man who is emotionally drawn to you will express it in how he shows up in your everyday life, in the way he treats your time, your space, your emotions, and your energy. If you've ever found yourself wondering whether he truly cares, not just for what you bring, but for who you are, these 15 quiet signs will help you see the answer more clearly. Because real love doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it waits at the door of your peace, gently, patiently, and without making a scene. Let's explore the quiet ways a man shows he's emotionally connected, not just in love with your presence, but drawn to your soul. 1. He lingers in conversation even when it's silent. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, even silence becomes meaningful. He doesn't feel the need to fill every moment with words, because your presence alone brings him comfort. Instead of rushing off or checking his phone, he stays in the moment with you, letting the quiet stretch naturally. This lingering is not about awkwardness, it's about connection. It shows that he enjoys being near you, not just for what you say, but for how he feels around you. In those silent pauses, his attention doesn't wander. He may simply sit beside you, share a quiet gaze, or smile softly, all without needing to speak. He's not calculating or trying to impress. He's just content to exist with you in that space. This behavior reveals a deep emotional pull, where he finds peace in your presence and doesn't want the moment to end. These moments of quiet are where emotional intimacy often lives. They say more than loud declarations ever could. A man who lingers like this is showing that he values the connection at a soul level. It's subtle, but powerful. A quiet kind of closeness that speaks of genuine care, emotional safety, and an unspoken bond that doesn't rely on constant conversation to feel real. 2. He remembers the tiniest things you say in passing. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his mind holds onto your words. even the small passing ones you may not even remember saying. Whether it's the way you take your coffee, a book you once mentioned, or the name of your childhood pet, he listens with intention. These details might seem insignificant, but to him, they're meaningful pieces of you. This kind of attention isn't loud or dramatic. He might casually bring up something you said weeks ago, or surprise you with something small that shows he was really listening. It's not about trying to impress, it's about genuinely caring. He values what you say because he values you. Your voice stays with him long after the conversation ends. His ability to recall the smallest details signals emotional investment. He's not just hearing you, he's absorbing your world, your preferences, your moods. This kind of listening comes from a place of interest that goes far beyond surface attraction. It shows he's thinking about you even when you're not around. When someone pays attention to what most people overlook, it means your presence matters to them deeply. Remembered details are quiet, beautiful proof that you live in his thoughts, not just for a moment, but in a way that stays. 3. He subtly mirrors your body language. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his body often responds before his words do. One quiet but powerful sign is when he begins to subtly mirror your body language. This means he may cross his legs when you do, lean in when you lean in, or adopt a similar tone or rhythm in conversation without realizing it. It's not calculated, it's subconscious. His emotions are syncing with yours, and his body naturally reflects that connection. This kind of mirroring creates a sense of comfort and understanding. It signals that he's emotionally in tune with you, paying close attention to your presence on more than just a surface level. You might find him smiling when you smile, nodding as you speak, or matching your energy whether you're feeling calm, excited, or even upset. What makes this sign so special is that it's quiet. He's not trying to imitate you. He's aligning with you. His mind and heart are focused on you in a way that makes him respond without thinking. It's a reflection of emotional intimacy that doesn't need to be spoken to be real. These subtle echoes between you are signs of emotional connection, where his presence becomes a soft echo of your own. In those small gestures, a deep, unspoken bond begins to grow, and it often means more than any grand romantic gesture ever could. 4. He looks at you like he's memorizing your face. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his gaze changes. It's no longer casual or fleeting. It lingers, deep and thoughtful, as if he's trying to memorize every part of your face. This kind of look doesn't come with flirtation or intensity. It's quiet, almost reverent. He watches you when you're not even speaking, as if just seeing you brings him peace or fascination. This gaze isn't about admiration alone. It's about presence. He's not just looking at your features. He's feeling something while doing it. He might get lost in your eyes during a conversation or glance at you with a softness that makes the world feel still. It's in these quiet looks that emotions speak the loudest, without words, without effort, just feeling. Often he doesn't even realize he's doing it. The way he watches you isn't performative. It's instinctive. It's as if his heart is trying to remember the feeling of being around you, and his eyes are helping him hold on to it. In moments like this, the silence is golden, and the connection feels deeper than anything words could express. When a man looks at you like this, it's not about attraction alone. It's about being emotionally moved by your presence. He sees something in you that stays with him, and every time he looks, he's reminding himself just how much you matter. 5. He listens without interrupting, fully present. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his attention becomes intentional. He listens without interrupting, not just to respond, but to understand. He doesn't rush your words or steer the conversation toward himself. Instead, he stays fully present, his eyes focused, his posture open, and his silence filled with genuine care. You can feel that he's not just hearing you, he's with you in that moment. This kind of listening is rare. It doesn't come from politeness or habit. It comes from emotional connection. He values your thoughts, your feelings, and the way you express them. Even if the topic is small or something you've mentioned before, he doesn't check out or drift away. He stays engaged because what you say matters to him. You might notice he remembers what you've said days or weeks later, or that he gives thoughtful responses that show he really understood. There's no need to repeat yourself or fight for space in the conversation. With him, you're heard, completely and without distraction. This quiet form of presence is a powerful sign of emotional investment. He creates a space where you feel seen and safe just by the way he listens. And in that calm attention, you find a kind of closeness that words alone could never build. 6. He always notices when something's off with you. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he becomes attuned to your moods in a way that feels almost instinctive. Even if you haven't said a word, he can sense when something's off. A subtle shift in your tone, a pause that lingers too long, or the way your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes. He notices, not because he's analyzing you, but because his heart is quietly aligned with yours. He doesn't wait for you to speak up. He gently checks in, asks if you're okay, or simply gives you space and quiet support. He may not always know the full story, but he picks up on your emotional signals because he's paying attention on a deeper level. That attentiveness is rooted in care, not control. It means your emotional state affects him too. Your pain touches him, your silence concerns him. This kind of awareness can feel like comfort without words. Sometimes he offers a small gesture, a reassuring glance, a change in plans, or a thoughtful action, just to lighten your load. It's his way of saying, I see you, even when you're trying to hide. It's easy to overlook this kind of quiet sensitivity, but it speaks volumes. When a man notices the moments you try to mask and responds with warmth rather than pressure, it shows a bond built not just on attraction, but on emotional closeness, understanding, and a deep, silent loyalty. 7. He makes small sacrifices without announcing them. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he starts making quiet sacrifices, not for recognition, but because he genuinely cares. He shifts his schedule to see you, lets go of small comforts to make you feel at ease, or chooses your needs over his convenience without ever pointing it out. There's no grand declaration, no expectation of praise, just small intentional acts that say, you matter. These sacrifices are often subtle. Maybe he skips a hangout with friends to spend time with you when you're overwhelmed, or stays up late helping you with something even though he's exhausted. You may not even realize he gave something up until later because he doesn't bring it up. His actions speak in silence, selfless, steady, and sincere. What makes these gestures powerful is the lack of performance. He's not trying to win points or prove anything. He's responding from a place of emotional connection. Your happiness and comfort naturally become part of his priorities, and he adjusts without making it about him. These unspoken sacrifices reveal the depth of his feelings. They show that he's not just present when things are easy, but also when it costs him a little something. And when someone quietly chooses your well-being again and again, it's not just affection, it's love in its most humble and honest form. 8. He instinctively protects your comfort. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, your comfort becomes something he guards without even thinking. It's not loud or dramatic, it's instinctive. He'll shift positions so you have more space, offer his jacket if you're cold, or steer you away from situations that might stress you. He does it quietly, often before you even notice there's a need. This kind of protection isn't about control, it's about care. He watches for subtle signs of discomfort, whether physical or emotional, and responds in ways that show he's thinking of you first. If you're feeling overwhelmed in a crowd, he might gently lead you somewhere quieter. If someone's being rude, he might step in calmly, creating a buffer without making a scene. What's beautiful about this behavior is that he doesn't need to be asked. He doesn't wait for you to explain. He senses, reacts, and softens the world around you just enough to make it easier to breathe. That quiet attentiveness shows how deeply connected he feels, because someone who cares that much doesn't just want to be near you. He wants you to feel safe, respected, and at peace. His protective energy isn't possessive or forceful. It's a silent promise. I see you. I've got you. And that quiet effort speaks volumes about where his heart truly is. 9. He checks in when you're unusually quiet. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he notices your silence, especially when it feels out of character. He doesn't overlook it or brush it off. Instead, he gently checks in, even if it's just a short message, a soft question, or a look that says, I noticed. His concern doesn't come from obligation, but from genuine emotional awareness. He's not just hearing your words, he's paying attention to your pauses too. It's in these quiet moments that his care truly reveals itself. When you retreat a little, he doesn't take it personally or disappear. He reaches out, not to pry, but to let you know he's there. He might say something simple like, "You okay?" or "Just checking in," and those few words carry the weight of someone who is emotionally tuned in to your rhythms. He doesn't force you to open up. He gives you space, but also presence. That balance of respect and attentiveness shows that your emotional well-being matters to him deeply. It means your silence has meaning in his world, and your absence is felt. When someone checks in during your quietest moments, it shows their connection to you isn't surface level. It's rooted in emotional closeness, empathy, and a kind of care that listens even when no words are spoken. 10. He makes eye contact that holds just a little longer. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his eyes start to say things his mouth might not. One of the quietest but most telling signs is how he holds eye contact, not forcefully, but just a little longer than usual. It's a pause, a moment where time seems to soften. In that look, there's something more than politeness or habit. There's presence, there's depth. This extended eye contact isn't about staring or making you uncomfortable. It's subtle, natural, and tender. He locks eyes with you while you're talking, not just to follow the conversation, but to absorb your emotions. And sometimes, even when no one's speaking, he looks at you like there's something he wants to say, but doesn't need to. His gaze holds space, not pressure. That longer than usual glance is a window into how he feels. It says, I see you. I'm here with you. Whether you're laughing, venting, or simply sitting in silence, he stays connected through his eyes, anchoring himself to the moment and to you. In a world full of distractions and rushed connections, this quiet form of attention speaks volumes. It's not just eye contact, it's emotional contact. Silent, sincere, and deeply revealing. 11. He sits or stands closer than necessary. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his body naturally finds its way closer. It's not always something he's consciously doing. It just happens. Whether you're walking side by side, sitting on a couch, or talking in a group, he tends to position himself near you. It's not about invading your space. It's about wanting to be near your energy, your presence, your calm. This closeness isn't loud or obvious. It's the kind that feels natural, like he's more comfortable next to you than anywhere else. He might lean in when you speak, sit closer when there's plenty of room, or drift toward your side even in a crowded room. There's a quiet warmth in that nearness, like your presence makes the environment feel more grounded for him. And even in stillness, that closeness says a lot. It shows he feels emotionally safe around you and wants you to feel that too. Without words, his presence becomes an offering of connection, a shared space, a shared moment. When someone consistently chooses to be closer, not out of need, but out of want, it's a quiet, powerful sign that they're drawn to you in a way that goes far deeper than attraction. It's emotional magnetism, silently expressed through closeness. 12. He offers help without being asked. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he doesn't wait for you to ask. He simply steps in. Whether it's something small like carrying a heavy bag, fixing something that's broken, or just handling a task you casually mentioned, he's already thinking about how he can make your day a little easier. This kind of help doesn't come from obligation, it comes from care. His offers aren't loud or performative. He doesn't expect a grand thank you or recognition. In fact, he might even downplay what he did. But underneath those simple actions is a deeper message. I'm paying attention. I've got you. He anticipates your needs, not because he wants control, but because your comfort matters to him. He notices when you're overwhelmed, tired, or just not in the mood to handle something, and quietly takes over. His help comes with warmth, not pressure. It doesn't feel like a favor you owe back. It feels like someone being on your team, silently backing you up in life's little moments. Offering help without being asked is a deeply emotional gesture. It means he's watching closely, listening deeply, and feeling your world as if it's part of his own. It's not just about being useful, it's about being present, emotionally, mentally, and genuinely. 13. He finds reasons to be around you. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he doesn't need an excuse to be near you, but he'll still find one. He may show up where he knows you'll be, linger a little longer after a group event, or start conversations that don't need to happen, just so he can stay close. These aren't grand gestures. They're quiet choices that say, I want to be in your world, even for a moment. He may offer to help with something, suggest grabbing coffee, or simply find a reason to walk you to your car. It's not forced or desperate. It's soft, steady, and sincere. Being near you brings him a sense of comfort, and he gravitates toward that without needing to explain it. Even in group settings, you'll notice he positions himself within your orbit. His presence is calm, not overbearing. He doesn't demand your attention, he just quietly hopes for it. These little moments of just happen to be here are rarely accidental. They're the subtle moves of someone emotionally invested. When a man keeps finding reasons to be around you, it's because your energy draws him in. He may not always say it aloud, but his actions speak clearly. This is where I feel something real. And he's not ready to let go of that feeling anytime soon. 14. He remembers your routines and habits. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he starts noticing and remembering the small rhythms of your life. The way you take your tea, the time you usually go for a walk, the songs you hum when you're in a good mood. These little habits might seem invisible to most, but to him, they stand out. Not because he's trying to impress you, but because he genuinely pays attention to the details that make you you. He remembers your favorite snack, when you usually get tired during the day, or how you always double-check the door before leaving. He stores these pieces in his mind because your patterns matter to him. Your life, even in its quiet routines, holds value in his eyes, and being aware of them helps him feel closer to you. This kind of attentiveness isn't loud or performative. He doesn't bring it up to earn praise. He might just show up with your go-to coffee order, or remind you about something you always forget, and do it like it's the most natural thing in the world. That's because it is natural to him. Emotional connection makes people observe with care. When someone remembers your routines without needing a reminder, it means they've made space for you in their thoughts. They're not just watching your life from the outside. They're memorizing it, little by little, because it means something to them. 15. He stays, especially when you're not at your best. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, his presence doesn't waver when things get hard. In fact, the truest sign of his connection often shows when you're not at your best, when you're stressed, tired, upset, or emotionally distant. Instead of pulling away, he stays, quietly, steadily, without making you feel like a burden. He doesn't need you to perform happiness for him. He doesn't expect perfection. Your bad days don't scare him off. They pull him closer, not to fix everything, but to simply be there. Whether that means sitting with you in silence, offering a few gentle words, or giving you space while still being nearby, he shows up in the way you need most. His presence in these low moments isn't about obligation. It's about emotional loyalty. He sees the whole you, not just the polished, joyful parts, but the raw and weary sides too. And instead of flinching, he leans in with patience and care. This kind of quiet consistency is rare. It tells you everything you need to know about how he feels. Because someone who chooses to stay when it's uncomfortable, when there's nothing in it for them but closeness and truth, is someone who's not just attracted to your light, but willing to stand with you in the shadows too. Sometimes love doesn't show up in big speeches, romantic surprises, or carefully scripted texts. Sometimes it arrives softly, in the way he remembers your favorite tea, the way he shifts closer without realizing, or how he checks in when your voice is quieter than usual. And while the world teaches us to look for flashy signs, true emotional connection is often found in the moments that go unnoticed by others, but not by him. Each of the 15 quiet signs we explored today points to something real, something grounded. When a man is emotionally drawn to you, he doesn't need to say it 1,000 times, because it's already present in the way he treats you, listens to you, protects your peace, and prioritizes your presence. You'll feel it in how safe you are around him, how consistent his actions are, even when his words are few. It's easy to question someone's feelings, especially when they're not vocal or overly expressive. But not all love is loud. In fact, the deepest emotional bonds often don't come with fireworks. They come with stillness, with someone staying, noticing, leaning in, choosing you over and over in the quietest ways. So, if you're with someone who does these things, or even just a few of them, don't overlook it. Emotional presence is one of the rarest and most valuable forms of connection. It means he sees you not as a role to fill or a checklist to complete, but as a person with layers, moods, fears, and dreams. And if he's showing up for that version of you, even when it's messy, complicated, or hard to love, then he's feeling something deeper than surface-level interest. And if you're still waiting for someone who shows up like this, hold on. Don't settle for noise when what you want is presence. Don't confuse attention with intention. The right person will not just make you feel wanted. They'll make you feel understood, seen, safe, valued, not just in the spotlight, but in the quiet corners of life where the truest love lives. Before we end this video, take a moment to reflect. Who in your life shows up quietly but consistently? Who holds space for your silence? Who leans in when the world pulls away? Sometimes love doesn't knock loudly. It simply sits beside you and stays. Thank you for watching. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, real love isn't always loud, but when it's real, you'll feel it everywhere. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos that speak to the heart, not just the noise. Until next time, listen for the quiet. That's often where love begins.